In just 6 years, a man commits around 50 murders. 6 years later, he is caught. When the police interrogate him, their count stops at 21. Based on those 21, the police build their case. He is in police custody. One day, out of the blue, he tells the police, "Your count is wrong. Not 21, I killed 50 people." The police are stunned, because perhaps the killer thought the punishment for 21 would be the same as for 50. So, the police ask, "All right, where are the bodies?" He says, "Sir, you're unlikely to find the bodies," and he says this with absolute confidence. The police still ask, "Tell us, where are they?" He says, "There's a place in UP called Kasganj. In Kasganj, there's a river called Hazara, and I threw all 50 bodies into that river, and I'm not lying to you. Every single body I threw into that river." The police say, "Fine." A search operation is launched in the Hazara River. The story I'm telling you, his arrest happened between 1998 and 2004, and today, in 2025, 21 years have passed. Even today, the police haven't recovered a single body from that river. Now, the court doesn't wait for bodies. The trial begins. A charge sheet for 21 murders was prepared. One by one, the verdicts came in. For 7 murders, he was given 7 life imprisonments, meaning 7 life sentences. In one case, he was sentenced to death. So, 1 man with 7 life sentences and 1 death penalty. He was in jail since 2004. 16 years passed. He's still in jail. After 16 years, one day, he files a petition in court saying, "I follow all the jail rules and regulations, so I should be granted parole." The court asks the jailer, and the jailer says, yes, his conduct in jail is good. The court grants him parole. He comes out on parole and disappears. The police are in a panic. They search for him again. He's caught again. After being caught, he's put back in jail. 3 years pass. 3 years later, the same man goes to court again saying, "Give me parole. My conduct is excellent." The court grants him parole again. He comes out and escapes again. It takes a full 1 3/4 years to find him. An entire Delhi police team for those 1 3/4 years had only one mission: to track him down. And finally, last Sunday, the police succeeded, and the man, whose real name is Devendra Sharma, but who is known in the media, police, and legal documents as Dr. Death, the Doctor of Death. This is the story of Devendra Sharma, the same Devendra Sharma who once lived in Aligarh. And this story raises a question. Should a prisoner accused of 50 murders, sentenced to 7 life imprisonments and 1 death penalty, be granted parole just because his conduct in jail is decent and fine? Let's say it's a human right, give it to him. But the first condition of parole is that if you don't return within the given time, you won't be granted parole again in the future. And this man breaks his first parole. He jumps it and escapes. He's caught again. The second time, he applies for parole and escapes again. Now he's been caught for the 3rd time. This is the story of Devendra Sharma. Devendra Sharma used to live in Aligarh. He studied Ayurveda. He became an Ayurvedic doctor, and then he went to Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, he started practicing at a public clinic. While practicing at the public clinic, he saved some money. For 11 years, he kept practicing. After 11 years, when he had saved some money, his friends told him, "Take a gas agency dealership. There's good money in it." He talked to some people here and there. He came across some broker-like people. He gave them 11 lakh rupees to secure a gas agency dealership. But they ran off with the money. Devendra Sharma's entire savings were looted. He returns to Aligarh. After returning to Aligarh, the grief of losing his money and the fact that he had nothing left. Now what to do? Then he comes into contact with a doctor from Delhi. The doctor says, "There's a huge demand for kidney transplants. People need a lot of kidneys for transplants. Donors are scarce. Some people even give their kidney for money because you can live with 1 kidney." So they started this illegal kidney transplant business, and some doctors were involved, and the work began. A single kidney transplant would earn them 5 to 7 lakh rupees. Their team kept this going. Then this doctor realized, donors are scarce. We have to pay to buy them. Why not just kill people and take their kidneys and then transplant them? This idea came to his mind. So he opened a fake gas agency in Aligarh, where his 11 lakh rupees had already been looted, and started a gas agency. The next stage was that he was in contact with some doctors who were working on kidney transplants and kidney donations. He opened the gas agency and started booking trucks. In a way, he wanted to make money twice from the same thing. His gas agency was fake, on paper. He booked trucks in the name of those papers. Now the trucks were the ones carrying gas cylinders. He would book them, sit in the truck, go with the driver, and within a 50 to 60 kilometer radius from Aligarh, in that area where there are secluded spots, especially the Hazara River, which is in Kasganj, Uttar Pradesh, 50 kilometers from Aligarh, he would find an opportunity and in a secluded spot, kill the truck driver. After killing, the entire team would be ready. Then the kidney was extracted. After everything was done, they would take the body and throw it into the Hazara River. The Hazara River is famous because it has the most crocodiles. If we talk about all the rivers in India, if any river's crocodiles have devoured the most humans, it's probably the Hazara River. And if not the living, at least the record for devouring the dead belongs to this river and to the crocodiles living in it. Because Devendra Sharma alone threw the bodies of 50 people into the Hazara River, and in 21 years, not a single body has been found because all those bodies became food for these crocodiles. So, he started this work with truck drivers. He would kill them, his team would extract the kidneys, give them to those in need, and take money. After some time, he felt that booking truck drivers repeatedly and killing them posed a risk of getting caught. He changed his idea. He said, "No more trucks, now we'll book taxis." He lived in Aligarh but booked taxis from Delhi and Gurugram. He started booking taxis. He would book a taxi to go somewhere. The taxi driver would come, he would sit with him, and at some secluded spot, an attack would happen. The driver would be knocked unconscious. Then he was killed. The entire team was ready as backup. The kidney was extracted. After the kidney was extracted, he was killed. After killing, his body was thrown into the same Hazara River. From 1998 to 2004, for 6 years, this cycle continued. And in those 6 years, he killed around 50 people, all of whom were either taxi drivers or truck drivers. This was still going on. Devendra Sharma's business was flourishing. Meanwhile, in Delhi, in Gurugram, complaints about missing taxi drivers and taxi companies were flooding in, saying, "Brother, this taxi was booked. We don't know where it went. It didn't return." 5 or 6 years had passed since their loved ones disappeared. With so many complaints, the taxis he booked, killed the drivers of, and then sold in the black market. In the black market, the appearance of those taxis was completely changed. Suddenly, a flood of complaints started coming in. By 2002, 2003, 2004, many taxis went missing and never returned. Taxi companies started filing complaints. The families of the drivers started filing complaints. The police couldn't understand where so many people were disappearing to in such large numbers. Anyway, the investigation continued. In 2004, Devendra Sharma booked another taxi. He was going with the driver. Something happened. That taxi driver got suspicious. By chance, he knew about some of the taxi drivers who had gone missing, whose reports were filed. He also knew that most of the taxis that were booked were from around Aligarh, and that day, he too had reached there. His instincts kicked in. He felt something was wrong, and everything came back to him. He panicked. Before reaching the destination, he was convinced something was off. He stopped the taxi in a crowded place, said, "I'll be right back," and fled from there. After escaping, he went straight to the police and filed a report. He said, "The taxis that went missing, those taxi companies, and the drivers who disappeared, their trail leads to Aligarh. It's connected to that area. And today, I was called there too, and I have my doubts. Meanwhile, Devendra Sharma thought the driver had some work come up. So, he was carefree at home. The police investigated. They reached there. Devendra Sharma's address was traced, and finally, the police reached his house. He was arrested. After being arrested and brought in, he kept dodging, misleading them. But when the police got strict, he started telling his story. And that day, in 2004, Devendra Sharma was first called Dr. Death because the story was so horrifying. For the greed of money to sell kidneys, donors, or those many people who give a kidney themselves. To save money even from them, he said, if we have to take the kidney, why keep the person alive? But what he thought was even more terrifying. With the scale at which I'm killing, someday a body will be recovered. So, what to do with the bodies? By chance, he was from Aligarh, and he had known about the Hazara River since childhood, because the Hazara River is a very popular destination there. And this Hazara River, the bridge over it was built by the British, and rivers flow above and below this bridge. So, many people come to see it. But the other reason was that the Hazara River is infamous because it has a large number of crocodiles. From time to time, crocodiles are seen by people near the water's edge, and people go there to see the crocodiles. So, Devendra Sharma had been going there since childhood. When he entered this serial killing business, he thought, I'll dispose of the bodies in a place where no evidence will ever be found. He thought a lot, that I'll bury them somewhere, burn them somewhere, but for how long? Then it struck him, the Hazara River has so many hungry crocodiles. He said, if I throw the bodies here, the police will never find any evidence. And if no bodies are found, then what murder case? And that's why every taxi he booked, every truck he booked, he made sure it happened around the Hazara River, and there are secluded spots around it, 50 kilometers from Aligarh. So this is how he figured out how to dispose of the bodies after the murders. The idea of making them food for these crocodiles came to his mind. And then he started killing. Anyway, the police had caught him by now. There were 21 missing complaints at that time, from different taxi companies' taxi drivers saying 21 people had disappeared. Their trail led to Aligarh and its surroundings. So, the police got strict, saying, these people are missing, and it's been 6 years since they disappeared. The police asked about the bodies. He said, I threw the bodies in the river, they won't be found now. The crocodiles must have eaten them. This went on, the investigation continued. Then one day, he himself says, the complaints you came for, there are many more you don't even know about. So, he said, based on weeks and days, he explained how he booked them with gaps of days. And according to that count, I booked taxis and drivers 50 times. And every single driver, I didn't spare even one. Meaning I committed 50 murders. You're talking about 21. That's 29 less. When the police heard this, they were shocked. A press conference was held at the time. He was named Dr. Death. And then a long search operation began in the Hazara River. But where there are so many crocodiles, what hope was there of finding human bodies? So none were found. Now, how long can you wait for a trial until bodies are found? There was also the fear that without bodies, how could 21 or 50 murders be proven? The living proof was that the people who went missing disappeared. From 1998 to 2004, none of them ever returned. Some vehicles were recovered, sold in the black market, and through those vehicles, it was found that Devendra was the one selling them. Meaning the vehicle was recovered, but not the driver. Evidence was gathered. One by one, all the murder cases started in court. In 7 murder cases, the court sentenced Devendra Sharma, alias Dr. Death, to life imprisonment. He had hired a driver and taxi from Gurugram and killed him. The death of that Gurugram driver, the trail of that taxi when it was sold, it was traced back to who sold it. Direct evidence was found. So the only Gurugram case was where the court there sentenced Devendra Sharma to death for that driver's murder, meaning a death penalty. So, 7 life sentences and 1 death penalty. There were some other cases in between. So, he was locked up in Jaipur Central Jail. A dangerous man, so many murders. He stayed in Jaipur Central Jail. In 2020, while in Jaipur Central Jail, he applied for parole citing a family illness. The court, after the jailer's report, granted him parole. This parole was for 15 days. He came out. After 15 days, he was supposed to return to jail by evening. He didn't return. He escaped. The police were searching for him everywhere. From Aligarh to the places in Rajasthan where he had friends, he was nowhere to be found. About 3 months later, a Delhi police inspector got information that Dr. Death, because one case was linked to Delhi. Most taxi drivers were from Delhi, and the one who had 7 life sentences and 1 death penalty, who jumped parole and escaped, was living in Delhi under a changed name with his second wife and had started a property dealing business in Delhi, and he was trying to sell a controversial building in Connaught Place. When the information from the informant was developed, the police finally arrested Devendra Sharma. After the arrest, he was presented in court. Then it happened that instead of Jaipur Central Jail, he was sent to Tihar Jail. After that, he reached Tihar Jail. He was in Tihar Jail. This was in 2020. 2021, 2022, 2023, 3 years passed. 2023 arrived. In 2023, Devendra Sharma approached the court again in Delhi saying there's a function in his family, a wedding, so he should be granted parole. And his age was about 65 years by then. So considering his age and the fact that his conduct in jail was good, the court granted him parole again. On July 3rd, 2023, Dr. Death got parole for the second time, this time for a full 2 months. As per the rules, he was supposed to return to Tihar Jail by the evening of August 2 or 3. 2 months passed, the parole period was over. August 3rd, 2023 arrived. But Dr. Death, or Devendra Sharma, didn't return to Tihar. When he didn't return, the Delhi police panicked again. They formed a special team just to catch him, saying, "You have no other job, catch him." The team kept searching here and there. Time passed. It was learned from the central jail that he had met 2 people in Dausa, Rajasthan. By then, the police were exhausted searching for him everywhere. His house in Aligarh, relatives' houses, Delhi, everywhere. His first and second wives, well, his first wife and children had left him. It was found that Devendra was in Dausa, living in some ashram in Dausa, disguised as a Baba or priest. But which ashram, that wasn't known. The other problem was that his age was increasing. And when he escaped, 1 3/4 years had passed. In 1 3/4 years, what would he look like now? What would his appearance be? His beard, his hair. Anyway, despite everything, the Delhi police team spent 6 months visiting different ashrams in Dausa. They set up camp in Dausa. They stayed there. Their only job was to peek into every ashram and find out. They had old photos and videos. Slowly, they learned about an ashram called Rameshwar Dham in Dausa. The police team went there disguised as devotees. They went as devotees. They observed. It took several days. One time, the Delhi police team saw a Baba and thought, this could be Devendra Sharma. But his hair had grown. His beard was unkempt. His age had advanced, wrinkles on his face. The problem was that the old photos and videos didn't match the Baba standing in front of them. Taking a Baba from an ashram without solid proof could become a problem for the police. They spoke to senior officers. They were told, no, confirm it first. Now, how to confirm? Well, the police were already talking to this Baba as devotees. Then they took the help of experts. The experts said, a Baba can change his face, his hair, his beard, his wrinkles. All these things can change with time. But one thing about a person never changes, and that's their eyes. A person can be identified by their eyes. Changing eyes is a very difficult task. And the second thing is the nose. Now, the police were already close to the Baba as devotees. They made sure not to raise suspicion. The ashram was under surveillance. They were also talking to the Baba. Spiritual conversations were happening. When the eyes and nose were matched through experts, it was confirmed that it was Devendra Sharma. And after that, just last Sunday, 3 days ago, when the confirmation came, Devendra Sharma was arrested from that ashram and brought to Delhi. Later, he confessed who he was. Now, after this, his home will be Tihar again. Accused of 50 murders, 7 life sentences, 1 death penalty, and 67 years old. Many case verdicts are still pending. Is it? Isn't this making a mockery of parole rules? A question for the system. And with that, that's all for today's story. Until then, take care of yourself and your loved ones.